everyone, it's the Dyslexic Lego Lover here, and today I am back with another Lego Ideas set. This one being the famous painting A Starry Night by Vincent Van Gogh. Now, I was really excited when they started releasing these art sets because I took an art and architecture history class when I was in college, and it was one of the most intriguing subjects I had been able to take a class in. Now, I'm a science-y person. I have a degree in chemistry, so being able to take this art class was a breath of fresh air in terms of stuff that I could learn about, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. And I was so excited when these sets came out because it was paintings and art pieces that I had learned about in that class, and I understood them on a deeper level than I had before, and I appreciate art more after taking that class, and I was just so excited to build this set. Now, one thing about this video is I did lose some footage while recording. You'll probably notice that there's like a jump in progress because unfortunately I did lose some footage, which is the first time that that's happened to me, but I'm sure it won't be the last, so apologize for that, but hopefully you can overlook it. Now, today I'm going to be including the information that is in the instructional booklet because, as always, they include a great description and relevant information about not only Van Gogh but of the piece itself. So first, let's start with the story. Vincent Willem van Gogh was born in Groot-Zundert, the Netherlands, on March 30th, 1853. From a young age, Van Gogh was introduced to the world of art by his uncle Vincent and brother Theo, an established art dealer and lifelong champion of the artist's work. Living in England, France, and Belgium, Van Gogh worked as an art curator and a lay preacher and taught amateur painters before committing fully to his own art. In just a decade, from 1880 to his death in 1890, Van Gogh completed more than 2,000 works, including almost 900 oil paintings, more than 1,100 watercolor paintings, etchings, and ink and pencil drawings. His subjects ranged from humble, hardworking miners and farmers to landscapes, portraits, interiors, and still life pieces. Van Gogh believed he could make his paintings endure only by abandoning photographic resemblance and striving for passionate expression. He was inspired by Japanese prints and the work of his contemporaries such as Paul Gauguin, Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec, and Paul Cézanne, and looked to innovations in color theory to inform his own palette, by turns vibrant and brooding, as he developed his own unique, heavily impasto painting style. In a letter to Theo in 1888, he wrote, "I can do nothing about it if my paintings don't sell. The day will come, though, when people will see that they're worth more than the cost of the paint and my substance, very meager, in fact, that we put into them." Though Van Gogh did not live to see his predictions come true, his final exhibitions drew critical acclaim. Another quote included by Van Gogh is, "I often think that the night is more alive and more richly colored than the day." The Starry Night. In May 1889, after a period of deteriorating health, Van Gogh admitted himself to the Saint Paul de Massol Asylum in Saint-Rémy-de-Provence near Arles, France, where he was treated for epilepsy. As part of his therapy, he was encouraged to continue painting. The serene gardens and landscapes in Saint-Rémy allowed him to recover and focus fully on his art. Within a year, he had completed at least 150 works, including The Starry Night. In a letter to his brother, the artist wrote, "The sight of the stars always makes me dream." Like many of Van Gogh's paintings, this timeless artwork, with its swirling blue and yellow brushstrokes, imbues night and nature with an emotional language beyond their actual appearances. Acquired by the Museum of Modern Art in 1941, it was the first artwork by Van Gogh to enter a New York Museum collection, and it continues to be a visitor favorite in the museum's galleries. Now you can imagine and create your own 3D version, thanks to this exceptional collaboration between MoMA fan designer Truman Chang and Lego Ideas designers. The World's Museum for Modern and Contemporary Art. The Museum of Modern Art in New York City brings creativity and inspiration to people all over the world. Founded in 1929 by 3 women, MoMA was the first museum dedicated to new art, from paintings and drawings to film, design, and performance. This bold experimental vision continues by sharing the most thought-provoking and resonant works today. Cypress trees were a common motif in Van Gogh's later paintings. A symbol of death in Greek culture, they connect heaven and earth in the starry night. Meet the fan designer. Truman Chang, LEGO Idea's name LEGO Truman, from Hong Kong, is a PhD student in medical robotics. How does that relate to recreating world-famous art with LEGO bricks? Robotics is just one form of creative problem-solving that I love. I also love art and drawing new fantasy sci-fi characters from my imagination. LEGO is very special to me because it is a unique synthesis of artistic expression and puzzle solving. Van Gogh's work has always fascinated me, and The Starry Night is one of his most iconic works. I have always wanted to make a LEGO version of it, but couldn't think of a good execution style. One day I was playing with LEGO elements and discovered that stacking them together in random intervals looks a lot like Gogh's iconic brushstrokes. So I based my model on the original painting and took some creative liberties with the 3D aspect of the design. It was a good brain teaser to find the best techniques and LEGO parts to capture the look of the original painting. Keeping all parts of the painting on the right scale was really challenging, so I just kept building and modifying. Once the model launched on the LEGO Ideas platform, it gathered 10,000 supporters in just 3 weeks. Thank you so much to everyone who voted. The LEGO Artists. The set reimagines the original painting in a 3D scene with strong emphasis on the artist's iconic brushstrokes and color choice. A 3D painting is not normally something we would release as a model, but it was a fun challenge. I was amazed by all the details Truman captured from the original painting. I wanted to make sure we created a great building experience as well as a work of art. We worked closely with MoMA, experimented with lots of different building techniques and angles, and I kept going back to every LEGO element to get the colors and placement right and hopefully do Van Gogh's beautiful brushwork justice. Saren Gellert Drehoj, LEGO Model Design Master. This set is truly made for every art lover, especially for Van Gogh fans, as we couldn't have done it without MoMA. The final model is so impressive. It shows depth and layers that mimic the techniques used in the actual painting. The most challenging part was designing the Starry Night painting on a tiny LEGO brick canvas. I incorporated Van Gogh's brushstroke techniques in all the decorations. I love the little Vincent Van Gogh minifigure. His minifigure canvas and palette, you can place the artist inside the painting or display him as a standalone minifigure. Nikin Ayurmurti Hartomo, LEGO Senior Graphic Designer. Thank you so much for listening and learning with me. Please keep in mind that all information shared in this video was written by the amazing LEGO design team, and none of this was written by myself. Please, as always, enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I will see you all in the next one. Bye.